college, and my question was based on not so long ago, my home state of Georgia became a Republican tilting state as a result of some conservative Democrats in my state switching to the Republican Party, which solidified Republican control of the state legislature. Now, if the left still uses that party switching as a result of Republicans being racist, how can we refute that?
The refutation is in a book by Byron Schaefer and Richard Johnston called The End of Southern Exceptionalism. It actually looks to see, it divides the South into the most racist people and the non-racist. And it shows that the most racist people never switched. In fact, they felt comfortable staying in the Democratic Party. The non-racists in the South moved over to the Republican Party because of economic opportunity. Remember that racism was a technique to provide psychic consolation to the poor white man. It was a way of saying to the poor white man, your life sucks, but the good news is you belong to this exclusive club called For Whites Only. So that even though you're unbelievably stupid and you're unbelievably unsuccessful, we are still going to put you on a totem pole that is higher than the most educated black man. This was Democratic Party political strategy for more than half a century in the 20th century. That's why the Democrats held the poor whites. That's why the poor whites never left the Democratic Party. So it's important to fight this big switch nonsense because it's the last out for the left. But there is no out because the evidence is the other way. And it's important for you to be familiar with. So get the Byron Schaefer, Richard Johnston book. Get my book. Together, the two are kind of like one of those Muhammad Ali 1-2 punches.
Oh, thank you.
Be really helpful. Yes.
Hi, I'm Diego Revelar here from George Washington University. And with the whole email scandal and the FBI declining to recommend indictment against crooked Hillary, it seems as the system is rigged. So my question is, what can we do specifically to get back to the rule of law?
Number one, you have to expose the kernel of what's going on. I mean, look what these recent scandals show. Number one, the Democrats, the party called Democrats, are rigging their own elections. Unbelievable. They're running a Soviet-style election in America. Right? Amazing. Number two, when you listen to the private conversation of Democrats, you realize that the party of racism hasn't changed all that much. Their Hispanic initiative, they call it the Taco Bell initiative. They make all kinds of fun of blacks, homosexuals. They want to use Bernie Sanders' alleged atheism against him. This is the party in its actual private, you may say, uncensored speech. And so imagine, if this was Trump and the Republicans, the media would be so all over this. As it is, it's once again a progressive embarrassment that the people at NPR, the people at ABC, CBS, the New York Times, they view their job. This is their job. How do we cover it up? How do we minimize it? We can't deny it, but how do we make it a no big deal? How do we make it kind of a let's move on? This is how these people think. That's why it's very important for you as young people to think, how can I influence the institutions of media, Hollywood, comedy, and academia? Because we can't allow the left to continue its current monopoly in those areas.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Marlena Haddad, and I'm from Connecticut. I recently saw your movie, Hillary's America, and it was amazing. But one of the questions that came to mind when I was watching it was, how did you do this? You know, most of the movies in theaters, everything in Hollywood has a bias, a liberal bias. So my question really is, was there any resistance from the Democratic side, from the government, when getting your movie in theaters? You know, I mean, you really did expose the true side of the Democratic Party and the evils that they do.
So the left, it was a very pleasant discovery for me that the left controls Hollywood, which is movie production, but it doesn't control movie distribution. The movie distribution is completely different. So by allying ourselves with the distributors, i.e. the people who own Regal, Cinemark, AMC, the big theater chains, I went to them and they said, look, Dinesh, if you can get people lined up along the block, we're happy to put your movie in our theaters. And that's all I needed to hear. So we're not part of Hollywood. We filmed this whole movie in Dallas. And this keeps us outside the influence of Hollywood people to be able to torpedo us. Now, the moment the movie comes out, 300 critics are deployed to destroy it. And they'll go and they will absolutely trash the movie. Now, happily, most of these people are sort of ignoramuses. They're full of bile and hatred, but they don't know anything. So fighting against me is actually, I mean, 300 to 1 is pretty good odds for me, just in terms of knowledge. I'm not saying there aren't progressives who are smart. Believe me, they will ultimately deploy powerful historians from Bryn Mawr and Harvard and Stanford to go after the movie and the book. And I'm ready for that. But the point is, in the beginning, it's all these ridiculous people writing out of Greenwich Village and so on, and they're just sort of, they just come up with really big words that impress themselves and so on. So we'll get 5% in Rotten Tomatoes, but then we'll get 90% from the audiences. Audiences love the movie. And so the effort to block this movie has not worked. It isn't working. And I think we've shown a path that other conservatives can follow. The important thing to realize about movies is you don't make movies to do messaging. You make movies to entertain. Michael Moore knows this. It's one of the few things he does know. People go to the movies for fun. You make an entertaining movie, you can do a lot of messaging. You try to make a movie, people always saying to me, make a movie on Obamacare, make a movie on immigration. No. You have to make a movie that is a storyline, that actually has drama, that has plot, narrative, character, suspense. This movie's a thriller, because Hillary's involved, there are elements of horror. It's a little bit of a horror movie. But we don't leave people depressed.